What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Today on the show, I got Earthling VIP, students of the game, beings of the earth, Hanna and Nick of Earthling VIP. Two super positive people that I know very well. They shopped at the Rose Bowl for years. Last year at this time, they had a huge pop-up in their house that they turned into a store. Now they've moved on up to a really sick live workspace in LA. And tomorrow, or Saturday, which is tomorrow because I'm dropping this Friday, they are dropping 1,000-piece collection. All hammers, as we say on this show, okay? Truly genuine, really happy, really positive, really uplifting people. And, I want to say something about that. It's a choice being happy, people. It's a choice. Every day you get a choice to be happy. My homeboy Pete's meat. One night I came to the Rose Bowl and I had a bad day. I was like super grumpy and shitty at the Rose Bowl. And he was like, dog, you got one chance. You got one day. You got one day a month at the Rose Bowl. You might as well have fun. You might as well enjoy it. You might as well make it a good one. And, that stuck with me. And I'm like, you know what? That's every day. We have one day. All we have is now. All we have is today. You might as well make the choice to be happy, make it a good one, accomplish something, teach someone something, uplift somebody's day. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to be doing every day. There are no bad days. Make it a good day. And I feel like Nick and Hanna of Earthling VIP get it. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the episode.
We got vintage clothing by the rack. Yeah, just check out my Insta. How you gon' argue with that? Everything you see, I manifest. I'm an architect. I think I'ma run it back. We got vintage clothing by the rack. Just check out my Insta. How you gon' argue with that? Everything you see, I manifest. I'm an architect. I think I'll have some of that.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Yo, thank you for having us. We're very hyped.
This is kind of long overdue. I should have had you guys on a while ago. Fuck.
It's all good,
Perfect timing, I would say.
Everything happens for a reason. It's never too late.
Earthling VIP, Hanna and Nick.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
We first met at the Rose Bowl. I'm going to tell the story.
Throwback.
So you guys would come to the Rose Bowl hella early. You guys were like crushing the early morning vibes. I'm talking beating the Japanese most of the time.
Oh, yeah. At one point, people started selling outside the parking lot, too. So we would never go to sleep. We would pull all-nighters. We'd have, 5 to 10 of the homies over. We'd stay up all night.
We'd make it a thing. We just,
make it a whole-ass vibe.
We would wait to get, food and coffee till, 11 or 12 at night. So it would just, juice us up. And we'd be like, we only got, 2.5 more hours till people are setting up at Rose Bowl. So we just get, super excited. And we would always hit your booth first. Besides the people that were set up outside, we got in. The
first booth we go to.
I wouldn't even go shop.
You guys are helping us unpack boxes. You guys are putting shit on the back. You guys are literally there at 4 a.m. always first. But it wasn't even that long ago. When did you move to Cali and start coming to Bowl? Because I feel like it was only 3 years ago? Was it even that long?
Probably about 3 or 4 years ago. We moved out here, I think, 5 years ago.
Or five and a half almost now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually moved out here to get into a little bit of the dance industry and the commercial industry. We were always thrifting and super into clothes. We used to actually go on the website, their website.
Yeah, yo, I've
snapbacks.
Yeah, I've me and my homie Jahi, and my homie Dum Dum from high school used to just surf Evans and Frank website. When I was I'm telling you, when I was 13, 14, when you guys had hundreds of snapbacks, because I was big into snapback collecting early on. I have early videos of me going through snapbacks, showing tag in the front and the green underbill, and it was sports specialties, whether it was a script or It was so funny. So I was using your guys' website as like what to look for, essentially.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. It's funny. I didn't even know back in the day that that's what was going on, because communication was way less back then. Like it wasn't
right.
and nobody was talking as much. So I just would see like sales come through, but then later on people were telling me I'd be in the thrift and I'd open up the site to see if you guys had it, and then I'd buy it and put down something,
Yeah, no,
that's so true, because there was no like platform or like place you would look at to like justify what you found.
Yeah, we didn't know
about. There
was
only a few people. Like we really only knew of you guys. There was not really that many other people like doing stuff.
Yeah, like I maybe followed like a couple of dudes on YouTube, like
mostly
early
hat
on.
pages.
Yeah, like just hat pages. There was like this one other account that I followed that was like Professor Snap.
Yeah,
and he did like there was like maybe two other people. I can't think of their names right now, but I remember I learned how to like like I remember doing like trying to learn how to like switch the snaps out, and like he taught like tutorials on how to like reshape hats and stuff like that, because we would find them so beat up. And the snap swap was big when Don was doing it. Yeah, and everyone did the brim swap with like interesting fabrics and shit. The brim swap. I remember like one of my homies did like a crazy brim swap one time of like he had like this like space, like outer space fabric, and he like covered it on a Rockets hat, and it just looked so crazy. Like we were freaking out back then. It was like the simplest things we would freak out about, like starter jackets, like and stuff like. And now it's pretty crazy. Like we look right past that stuff.
Even like days. Those denim Looney Tunes jackets. Like when you found one of those at the thrift, you're like, I just came up.
You're just like, that is the firest thing I've ever found in my life. Like it wasn't, like a Disney t-shirt or like whatever.
But it is wild how it's morphed from like, it used to be kind of like more versatile in garment type, right?
Now it's all
very fucking straightforward t-shirts.
Yeah, it's crazy because we collect a lot of like jackets and vests and overalls and stuff like that. Pants, we have hella pants, but we sell a lot of t-shirts because it's fun to curate and collect them in a certain way, because they're all within the same style. But for us, like we got into vintage because it cuts and like
like I would go straight to the women's section. Like
we used to both. I wear men's clothes and you wear women's clothes.
Yeah, like honestly, I would go to the women's section and find like the crew neck section in the thrift store, and the women's section always had the craziest crew necks. Like they would put like the color block ones, and like the ones with like the collars, or like crazy button ups too, like the long like silk button ups. I would find like XL, like women's XL or double XL. Like, and that would fit, because they had like a little bit of shorter arms, but if you got them bigger, they would fit length. And it was
so
crazy.
I know that about you guys. Your style is sick. I love the style. And I know you guys you guys have crazy t-shirts, but half the time I see you guys are wearing like a button up or some interesting outfit beyond just the t-shirt round.
Yeah.
Rad.
I think the t-shirts are, well, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, no, I just want to know, like, obviously you guys get fired up on finding some killer tees, but like what really fires you up about personal clothes when you find it?
I don't know. It's more like,
I mean, we started with our personal, like.
Yeah. We only started selling because we started collecting so much stuff, and he used to sell to the homies in high school, and we used to lace
off
people.
My back. People would be like, yo, how much is that jacket? And I'm like, wait, what? And then I think about it like, wait, I got this for $1 at the thrift store. I'm like, yo, $10 here, take it. Like, and
I feel like, oh, shit. Like throwing back to what hypes us up is, because t-shirts, sometimes you find the same t-shirts and they may be the grail, or like the shirt that's going for $1,500, $3,000, and some of those are really dope, but the stuff that really hypes us up is the stuff you don't see often. Like I'm wearing these overalls that are like cheetah, crazy. Plaid, like in floral, and they're like color block.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are
they're so sick.
Is that a homemade garment, or is that a real manufactured garment?
No, someone actually made them. I don't even know
looks
the
like
brand, but
looks like some grandma just made these in like the 80s.
Kind of like some Chico like vibes.
Yeah, do you know the brand Chico?
Yeah.
That brand, like that's the cool women's section shit I'm always talking about. I'm like, we have like these crazy jackets that we found from
we
them.
both have one.
Yeah, and we found one like years ago, like back living in Minnesota, and then came out here, and we were at like a Savers one time. Like
the
this
first
is like
month
20.
we moved out here.
Yeah, this is like 2015, like when we first came out here.
The first one we found in like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, and then and we found the matching one. It's like a size small that fits her really good, and then a size XL that fits me really good.
It's like just a crazy white jacket with all this like design
like
and black
zigzag
and white
stitching all over
embroidery,
it.
and it
so
has
sick.
like faces on it. It's super crazy. But those are the pieces that like no one else is gonna have those because they're so unique.
Yeah.
And then the t-shirts, of course, represent a lot of history because they usually have prints or groups or like,
licensing. A lot of places, like, you know, I mean, obviously music stuff, and
that's why we love
rides and destinations and places would always have tees. So it's like it kind of became accustomed to us to just sell the tees because I guess we cared least about those. So we're down to sell those.
We still have way too many t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, we like when it comes to style, like t-shirt is probably like the most basic thing to wear.
It's how you dress the t-shirt up.
Yeah, it's how you spice it up with everything else is what makes it cool. It's like, you know,
I was thinking about this a lot actually lately because I was like, you know, I'm in vintage. I'm in fashion. I do Frankie. I make rework.
Yeah.
I'm in it, but I'm not like, I don't consider myself like a fashion guy. But it's like you can't buy style, right? It's like a lot of kids right now are like, I'm gonna buy my way into looking cool by spending a lot of money on a t-shirt, which is fine. But like, if you can't wear it right with the right outfit or the right shoes or the right pants, like you can't just throw it all together.
Yeah, you're not doing the t-shirt like justice. It's like how you put it together is what makes it like shine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that goes back to like b-boying for me. It's like I've been breaking since I was 6 years old, and like being a b-boy, all you cared about was like when you were going to an event, to a battle, when you were doing anything like that, all I cared about was, I got to be the freshest one in the room. Like I got to be head to toe. Everything needs to coordinate. Everything needs to match. Everything needs to look right. Whether it was like I was wearing Puma suedes with the Puma sweatsuit and the Kangol hat, like whatever it was, like it just had to coordinate, had to go together.
If
and
you
it was
weren't
like,
fly, you already
lost. You already lost the battle.
That's it, because it's performance art, man. It all goes together. It's part of the package deal, right?
Yeah, like in breaking and like the hip hop community, you can't wear Nikes and Adidas together. Like you get clowned. Like if you walk out, even if you're wearing Nike socks and Adidas, it's like nope, you lost the battle. And like someone will point at it and be like, "No, bro, like those are."
So
as far as breaking goes, like which one reigns supreme, Nike or Adidas?
What was that?
Which brand reigns supreme in the breaking world? Because to me, I mean, I have my pick, but what's your pick?
So see, that's the thing. Is like it's so hard for me to pick favorites. Like if I'm gonna, I mean, Nike and Adidas.
It depends on the shoe, because it's either like
for
gazelles or like blazers. Like
I don't know. Honestly, when I was young, when I was younger, like in the b-boy world, it was Pumas.
Yeah, Puma's.
Yeah,
really
like
shit.
I know you said Nike or Adidas, and
but Puma isn't. They're the brothers.
Puma and Adidas are brothers.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, but like, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I always thought it. For me, I like it. I mean,
the shell toe Adidas is very classic.
Man.
And no, for sure.
Because the tracksuits, because like everybody rocked the tracksuits.
Tracksuits were it. Like, tracksuits are still it.
We still have two. Like when we find a full set, or if we find.
I just got this Nike orange, like vibrant sun color tracksuit, and we actually got it to sell it at this other spot that we sell a lot of cuts and colors and no t-shirts, but it came in and I was like, no, I have to keep this just off of principle. Like
but I do agree with you. Like it was definitely like the popular was definitely Adidas when it came to like in the b-boy world, but nowadays I'm sure like and Puma for sure is like just so official. And I used
to fuck with Puma suedes heavy before I was buying real skate shoes.
And Clyde's
learned to skate in Puma suedes, man. I had like
and some PF Flyers too. Like those are always classic.
Crazy story about Puma. So years ago, so we're both originally from Minnesota, and the Mall of America is in Minnesota, and like anytime you wanted to go get anything new, it was like that's the only place in Minnesota
like
that has anything. And so I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, and I'm with my friend and his dad, and we walk into the Puma store, and we just start chopping it up with the manager, and they like start finding out that we're dancers, and we start telling them like, yeah, we're dancers. And they're like, yo, we have a DJ that comes on Saturday. If you guys want to come to the Puma store and break dance like during the DJ, we'll give you guys free shoes. And we're like, what? And it like blew our mind. So I used to go to the Puma store like from like age 10 all the way up until I was like 16. And after I turned 16, I actually started working at the Puma store as an employee. But before then, I would work for free clothes. And like it was the craziest thing. Every 2 or 3 times I would go there, you have to go there 3 Saturdays in a row, and I would get a free pair of shoes. But every time I went, I would get a free like t-shirt or a jacket or whatever. So I would slowly build my collection of Puma stuff just off of going to the Puma store and dancing for them. And we would bring in like crazy crowds, because it was just me and my friend that originally showed up there, but we started bringing like everybody. So it was like 20, 30 B-boys all breakdancing in the Puma store, and we would get like 40, 50, 60, even like 100 people watching, because the Puma store was huge in the Mall of America.
Literally were dancing for your gear, dude. That's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so crazy.
It was crazy.
I remember when you started like actually working there to get paid. That's when we started like really going out, and I used to go there and get the kids Puma shoes for $15, $12.
They had the best. Like, they had the best.
The deals were
like
crazy.
Yeah, like employee discount was 60%.
Sick.
It's like the most. Like most places are like 20%, 30%. Yeah. It was 60% off.
Even at the outlets, the Puma outlets, you could get 60% off.
So they were already 50% off plus our discount. They came down to like $17 for her.
At one point, we were only wearing Pumas.
Yeah, it was.
So I got a funny breakdown story. My dad, when we were like, me and Jesse, I might have been like 6 and he might have been 8 or maybe 7 and 9. I don't know. But my dad, we lived in Niagara, which is Canada, and it's right near the border, right, to Buffalo. My dad's store was in Buffalo, New York, right? Buffalo's at that point was like kind of a rough city, but he had this store on Elmwood, and there was these dudes would breakdance outside the store, and I don't know if how we kind of were. I don't know how it came about, but he ended up getting these guys. He's like, "Can you come breakdance for my son's birthday party?" And teach all the kids to breakdance.
Yeah.
So sick.
We're literally like in the backyard on our patio with these dudes from Buffalo. We're like 6-year-old kids from Canada, and they come and they give us this whole like breakdance lesson. It was super sick.
Yeah.
I love.
That's so ill, honestly.
No, yeah, that's so sick. I actually, for a pretty long time, after I turned 16, we both have been dancing at like a dance studio since we were pretty young, and the hip hop like class, like, because there's hip hop class, which is like hip hop choreography. That's not necessarily like
the
breaking. It's not like it's not like the elements, because there's popping, locking, breaking. There's like a little elements within. Yeah, there's little elements within hip hop dance, but then there's like hip hop choreography, which is like a little bit more commercial.
Scene. Yeah.
And they would kind of teach a little bit more of like the commercial side, but I was one of the only kids that would like go to the actual breaking events. I'd go to jams, I would go to concerts, and we would actually like cypher on some like real hip hop, like, you know, really, really, really like working through the elements. And so one of my teachers actually ended up like quitting out of nowhere, and I just started teaching the class. So I actually I took over my dance class for like 3-4 years, and they actually just ended up hiring me. But like at first it was just like the teacher quit, and they were like, yo, Nick's like the only one that really knows what he's talking about in this class, so start teaching the kids. And so I was just like teaching all my friends and stuff.
So you guys came out to dance. Did you ever get in the scene in LA, or did you just go right into vintage?
Yeah,
we did a little bit of stuff in the scene, like
call real quick. Sorry,
homie's dropping off some
He's
custom
dropping
stuff
something off
right now. We did a little bit of small commercials here and there, like Samsung, like random like little gigs like that. And oh shoot, can you still see me?
No, but I hear you.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah,
there we go. We used to do small little gigs, but stuff in the commercial industry doesn't hit like the art form of dancing, because you're just being told what to do. Put your arms here, do this, do these moves, instead of the actual art of dancing is we're freestyle dancers, so we're not really I mean, we used to train and getting told what to do as well as certain things. We did tap, jazz, all that stuff. But the real art form is freestyling. And that's when you just let your body tell you what to do to the music. You don't really want to have to be told all the time what to do. And in the industry, it kind of like degrades your art form after a while. You feel like you don't love it as much because you have to do stuff for money. And anytime you work for money and something, like as an artist, it kind of makes you lose like the love of it for why you started to do it. So, and Nick used to street perform in Venice, so he used to flip around with all the cats in Venice on concrete and just like ask for money on the street. But that's kind of not why we came out here. We really just wanted to come into the scene. We used to go to battles a lot and just cypher. I was more of just a cypher cat, and he has a crew, so he used to battle at a lot of jams. And
how does one, like, I hear I know how it works. It's like you once you take your art and try to make it a job, it's like a lot of people lose stuff, right? So a lot of people are like, I'm never gonna try to monetize what I love because
I'm back.
I want to keep it like pure. But some people do, and like where do they find the balance there, and how do they figure that shit out? Because I hear the same story, like you said, a lot.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people can't balance it, but I have a couple homies like Ian, a couple homies in the industry who all they do is dance for their living, but they're the ones like creating the videos and the concepts. Like someone will hire them for like a drink company and they give them full artistic creative control. And that's the way where you can create exactly what you want to do, and you're being pure about your art and not sacrificing like your love for
like he hit that level where they trust him now to do his own deal, and they
exactly
creatively.
And dance is just spontaneous, so you don't want to always plan when you have to dance. Like when the music's just on and you're vibing, you just start getting down.
Like, it's just like natural. Like you just gotta.
And we feel like we can get into vintage and still keep our love for the art pure and not have to sacrifice that, because selling vintage, it doesn't feel like I'm losing the love of clothes or fashion or style
so like
while you're doing it.
Taking it back to like what actually, like when we actually really started, like when we realized like, okay, we can sell clothes for a living. Like when that happened, I was street performing on Venice. So I had just moved out here. We had been out here for what, like a year, maybe. And, you know, we saved up some money to be like, yo, we're going to go chase our dreams in LA. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the move. It was like, we were artists and we're like, yo.
We worked one whole summer.
And we're like, you know, Minnesota, you can't really like make it in Minnesota, you know? So we were like, you know, LA is the best bet. It was either New York or LA. And she lived in New York for a year. She went to a dance thing called Alvin Ailey. I'm sure we actually got an Alvin Ailey t-shirt from you guys.
Love that shirt. It's like a dance company, so I got to go like dance. Yeah,
she got like a scholarship to.
It was just purely dance and the art, and that's all it was. It's more like West African dance, ballet, modern, contemporary, everything kind of. It was super dope.
Yeah. So, but we were talking one time on FaceTime, like, cause we were dating at the time and we were doing the long distance thing. And we kind of just were like, yo, what's next for you? Are you trying to stay in New York, or are you trying to come back to Minnesota? And she was like, New York's cool, but like, I'm thinking of maybe trying something new. And I was like, yo, I kind of want to go check out LA. Like, I don't know what's up with LA. And she's like, yo, I'm about that. So we just like, we started saving money. And from that conversation, I was like, I'm going to save up like 10 grand. And so I saved up as much money as I could. We went out there and we were just like, we don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to figure it out. We know we're artists and we're creative. And I was like, LA is the place to be. There's more creatives out there. There's more artists out there than there is out here in Minnesota. So she came back for the summer. She worked a whole bunch. I worked like 3 jobs. She worked like 3 jobs.
3 or 4 jobs.
We were like no chill with anybody. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, like, and we were just like, all right, we're making it to LA. And then we came out to LA. We kind of like didn't get a job or anything out here right away. We were just kind of like enjoying life and like that money went
trying to find this
right down.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh,
we're like,
shit.
fuck.
Like, we're running down to like our last $1,000. Like, we need to figure something out. And so
probably less than that.
Yeah, probably even less than that.
Like $300.
Yeah. And so we were like, we got to figure something out. And I randomly met some homies through like the breaking community out here. Cause like me and my homie came out here. We had another homie come through from Minnesota as well. And he was also a breakers. We're in the same crew and everything. So we were just battling a lot. And like, you would win money if you won a battle. You'd win like, you know, depending on how big the battle was, like $100 for like a really small battle, maybe 500 or like, you know, 250 each, or, you know, but nothing big, like not enough to pay the bills really. So we were like, yo, we got to get into something else. And then we seen like some street performers, and we were like, yo, like these dudes, like we met them, we're like, yo, they're making money like out here. We could see like they're doing shows, they have it all organized and everything. And so we just started doing that. We got in there and it was cool. It was like $100 a day basically, you know, and it's like that was enough to pay our rent. We only had to pay like $1,200 between the two of us, and it was like I had to work like 6 days to like put up my little, you know, 600 or whatever. And so it was cool. And at that point we had done that, and I got used to just street performing and doing that every single day. And at a certain point, like,
you never want to stay comfortable. Like,
yeah,
our thing is get the fire under your ass and like,
yeah, and
get
just
out
move.
there.
And so like I kind of got comfortable doing that, and like also it kind of sucked out a lot of the love for the dance. I would street perform all day. I'd be in the sun, 90-degree weather, out on Venice Beach, dancing, flipping, all this stuff. And it was like, yeah. And I was just like, I wasn't even like, cause the way I dance, I don't really like to like organize. I'm like a freestyler. So I'll just go out there, the music's on, and I just do my thing. And like, whatever happens, happens. I might fall on my face. I might not. Like, I just try stuff. I do random things and hope it works out. Like, I'm just kind of like that. And with the street performing, you had to be very organized. You had to do the same thing every day. And I kind of just like, I like to have fun and like try new things. And like, you can't really do that once you street perform. It's like, you have to do very specific moves. You have to do very safe moves. Yeah. You have to like, you know, like I busted my knee really bad out there, like messed my back up, messed my neck up. Like I was hurting myself crazy all the time, cause I'm just a wild dancer. I'll just try something, and on the concrete, I'm doing elbow spins, head spins, like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like just getting injured and hurt. And I'm like, yo, like I'm beat, like I'm beating myself up. And then I get home and I want to dance more like on the creative tip versus like for the money. And I don't even have the energy. I'm just like, yo, I don't even have energy to do this. I'm gonna just knock out, wake up, go do it for the money. And it just like, it kind of turned into like, I was doing it for the money instead of doing it for the love. And so that's what made me be like, yo, I'm sick of this. And like, we slowly kind of like got away from that. And she was actually selling crystal wrap necklaces. She had her own little business doing that. And
on the
she was selling at the Melrose Flea.
Oh, at the Flea. Okay.
That's when we started getting into the Melrose Flea. I was actually working at a weed shop in Venice, so we could both go to Venice and then come back. And then randomly we went back to visit family over like Christmas or something like that. And while we were back home, we just went and met up with a bunch of the homies, and the energy was super good. And we're like, yo, I don't really want to go back and do what we were doing before. So we both kind of made a pact, and we're like, yo, let's quit street performing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna quit my
job. We kind of
didn't even have that much money, but we were like, we're gonna figure it out. We had enough money to pay that month's rent. And we were like, all right, next month we got to figure out how to make some money. Yeah, we basically
had like a month to like get ourselves in a whole new world.
That's the fire under your
and that was it. And like, that's kind of been a repeated thing for us for, you know, these steps up into
even
where we are now.
This spot. Like,
yeah. So like,
we didn't expect it.
Yeah. We kind of were like, yo, let's go back. I literally just didn't show up to the beach anymore. Cause it wasn't like I had a job. It wasn't like, you know, someone I had to call in and like clock in. It was just like anybody that showed up. Sometimes at the beach, there'd be 4 people that would street perform. Sometimes there'd be 15, like whoever showed up that day.
I have a question about this. Like I've seen the dudes at Venice, right? I've been out there a lot. I used to stay in Venice all the time when I came out to Cali. And like, did you just like join up with random crew? You just go out there and be like, can I dance with you guys?
Well, kind of, but not really. Like, so like I said, like in the breaking scene, like everyone's pretty much knows each other. And like me and when we first came out here, we kind of like, we were at every event, every battle. And so everyone kind of met us as kind of like the new kids that were like out in LA, like killing it. We won like a couple events. And so we kind of just met the right people. And we were like, yo, like, y'all street perform? Oh, that's dope. Like, yo, maybe we'll come out there one day and try it with you guys. And they were like, yeah, come out, bro. Like, it'll be dope. And like, it was fun in the beginning for sure. Like, I loved it in the beginning. And then
there's like a ringleader too, right? There's like a point man. There's like a ringleader who gets the crowd going too, right?
Yeah. It's a whole thing. They have like they have a, I mean, it's cool. Like, I respect what they do. It's just like, I couldn't do it anymore. You know, like,
I feel you, man. That's gotta be taxing, dude. That's like full on.
Yeah. It was a lot, you know, and like, it was fun for what it was. Like, I definitely wouldn't change anything about what happened. Like, you know, I definitely loved it for a short period of time. And at a certain point, I kind of ran out of energy with it. And I was like, this isn't me. Like, I'm really a B-boy. I'm not really out here trying to like, it was like, you had to be like, you know, very theatrical, like, you know, what time is it? Showtime. Like, very like, oh, it's just like, I don't know. I can't do that. You know, it's like, I like to be in the ciphers.
For
I
sure.
like to really,
it gets hard to watch after you've seen it like 5 times too. You're like,
yeah, especially when you do it. I would do it 4 times a day, every day of the week, like no days off, like Monday through Sunday, every single day. There's no time where you wouldn't be there. And like, Venice is a very like touristy area. So it was like, if you missed a day, you missed money. And it's like, even though $100 a day isn't that much, like, you go 7 days, that's 700, you know, and it's like a whole month, like that's $3,000, you know, 30 days. I was like, yeah,
$1,200 a month.
Yeah, we were good. Like, it was cool, but like, I don't know.
It can't last forever.
Couldn't last forever. Yeah. And I was just like, I felt stagnant out here. I was like, what am I just going to street perform for the rest of my life out here? Like, no,
that's not a thing.
I didn't come out to LA to just street perform. Like, I definitely wanted to keep dancing, and like that's never going to leave. But we kind of like, you know, when it came to Melrose, I had kind of went with her to Melrose a couple of times, because at first it was just her and the crystal wrap necklaces. So she would like hand wrap, you know, necklaces and stones and make necklaces out of them, earrings and stuff like that. And we were selling them for like, you know, like $30-$40 a piece. Like, she would hand wrap them up, and we would buy like nice expensive stones. Like, we would buy like $10-$15 stones. We used to just
wrap them for ourselves. So we were like, fuck it, we need to make money of something. Yeah. And we still had a bunch of clothes, but never switched in our brain to think of that till we went to Melrose. And
I remember I walked into someone's booth and I asked them how much.
And you started seeing other people selling at the flea. And
yeah, that, and people used to walk up to both of us because we would dress how we dressed still back then, and they would be like, yo, where's your booth at? And they'd come to our booth and they'd be like, yo, where's the clothes? I thought you guys were clothing vendors.
It was actually really funny.
Lace in vintage. And they were like, and we went back home like that night when it really sunk in. We went back home and we were like, yo, we have hundreds of vintage pieces in our closet. When I tell you,
like,
hundreds.
Even before we ever sold anything, we had thousands of pieces. Like, we were just hoarders of vintage clothes, but we didn't have like,
got it for cheap,
we didn't have heat, like not grails these days. Like, we just had like 50 button-ups, 40, 60 pairs of pants, like
some Stussy pieces. Yeah, that was like the grails we had was like,
some like vintage Stussy we would find, and we'd like freak out about that or something, like, you know. And we'd have like a Nike piece, a Polo piece, like couple things, like, you know, like Tommy and Polo was like popping when we first got into selling. And we had a good amount of that we would find at the thrifts and everything. So
we just got our shitty ass rack at Target.
Yeah, and we just like popped it up. And I remember we literally sold I brought out like 20 pieces, and
I think we brought out like maybe 30 or 40 pieces. Yeah, but we only had like 5 or 6 pieces on the tent. We sold like everything.
Yeah, well, actually the first time we didn't even have a rack. I brought just a couple of pieces and I hung them. Yeah, I know. Well, she was still doing the necklaces heavily, and so I was like, I need to make money too. So I brought like 5 jackets, and they were just windbreaker jackets, like, you know. And we sold all of them, and I was like, yo, we should bring like more next time. And so we brought more, and then we sold like almost all of them. It was like we had maybe like 3 left. I mean, we were selling them for like $20 a piece, you know. And so it was like we were just
got them for like $1.
Yeah, and we're just like $3. Got it for $1, sell it for 20, and it was like, and we were like, wow, yo, like we can make a living doing this if we like put our all into it, you know. And like
then we got really excited into like organizing our booth and putting jackets and pants and t-shirts and button-ups, and we really. Whenever we do something, we like to go full out. So we're like, if we're really going to start doing this, we need to make our booth look like the best booth at Melrose.
Yeah,
you know?
And it was like, it quickly changed from like, oh, we could maybe sell 1 or 2 things to like, we did kind of good one time and
go to all the thrifts.
Yeah, and we were like, all right. And we didn't have any like connections with anybody. We didn't know anyone in the vintage game. Like, we were just like hitting
Buffalo,
Savers and Goodwills
Savers.
and Buffalo exchanges.
Who
Like,
were some of the people selling back in those early days?
I mean,
James was still there.
yeah,
forever.
James, actually 1980 was there
I
heavily.
think he was there, yeah. Wasn't that
who else was there?
Big Mike?
Yeah, Big Mike. I don't know.
Kamikaze. I don't know if
You might know them.
Chris.
They're like some Melrose guys.
They used to collect a
super
lot
good
of like
people.
hip hop tees and kanai and cross colors. So that's kind of why we tapped in with them, because we were already super collecting that stuff, and we're like, these are our dudes. Like,
Yeah, and like I know Steve from Pop Up was selling
He's been
heavily
selling
back
there
then.
forever.
And I remember like, you know, we would just sell when we would pop up, we would sell, and every week I would learn something new. Like I remember we didn't even know what single stitch was, and then I remember one day we heard about what it was, and we ran back home and we looked through all our t-shirts.
Mad single stitch.
We were like, yo, we have so many single stitch shirts, and like
we're like, we got the gems.
You know, we knew they were old shirts, like, but we just didn't
we
know.
went more by like tags. We knew like old Nike tags and Hanes tags, but we just didn't pay attention to if it was single or double.
Yeah,
we just knew that it was from the 80s or 70s or 90s.
Yeah, or we checked the date. You know, everything was dated. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but once
well,
we realized,
you and everybody
like,
else, that whole phenomenon's a new thing, and I've said that before. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody was checking that shit even 5-6 years ago. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy when we learned about it. I was like, what? Oh, that has like, that determines whether it's old or not. And then like, I mean, still today there's old double stitch shirts from even the 80s. There's some double stitch shirts.
I remember like when you guys were coming to the bowl for those probably for the first year or more. I didn't even know what you guys did. I had no idea. Like, you never talked very much because you guys would come in so quick.
We were in and out.
Gone. You'd be like, shit, oh, it's 4:30. They're gone already. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we would come because we were selling at Melrose when we come to Rose Bowl. So we would come from like the 3 a.m. to 4 or 5.
And then we had to be set up by like 6.
Yeah, then we'd have to be set up by 6. So we'd have to dip out, cop as much as we could, bring some stuff to Melrose, keep some stuff sorted. Because we were still like, we would buy a bunch of stuff, and then some of the unicorns and the pieces that we really love, we just kind of set them to the side, and then sell everything else we could at Melrose the same day. Like, it's crazy.
I've seen the bedroom.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess when you guys brought me that flyer, when you did your first big drop, right? You guys brought us that flyer. Your first drop was like what? How long ago was that?
It was a year ago. Literally last August.
Yeah, it was August 9th of last year.
Full year ago. And you guys, so August 9th last year, you dropped this crazy collection. You turned your house into a store.
Into a store, yeah.
I've seen it. So like, your living room is racked. Your TV room is racked. Your bedroom is like stacked with t-shirts. I didn't even go in the kitchen, but
yeah. Oh yeah, the kitchen was full of clothes
our
too.
Our kitchen had so many clothes we couldn't even put in there.
Yeah, it was crazy. We usually just eat out because we just had so much clothes everywhere. We didn't have room. I mean, it was like we committed fully to the fact that like we're gonna run a business out of our house. We got rid of our couch. That was our favorite day.
God.
Like it was insane. So like we used to have a roommate, and once he moved out,
we used to pop up in there for like homies and a couple clients at Melrose. We'd put like 2 racks up and put a couple tees on the wall, but we could only use like part of the living room. We didn't want to take up everything. And we used to do a lot of like, we used to go to a lot of warehouses and buy a bunch of stuff and do small wholesale buyouts with like the Japanese clients and people who came in.
So for the longest time, we weren't selling on the high end. We were selling on we were middlemaning stuff. I mean, we would go, put 10, 20 hours in at the warehouses, and we would find, 300-400 pieces, and we'd flip 400 pieces in a week's worth of time because we would buy them for 10 or 5 and flip them for 15 or 20. Like we weren't looking for a big margin. We were just like, how fast can we get this stuff and get it out, Yeah. And like we would meet people at Melrose and be like, if you need more stuff, like we do appointments at our house, during the week. And it got so popular. We were like, we need to turn our house into like a full on operation. Cause it was like
already saving like our favorite pieces. So by the time that we were ready to turn our house into a store, like our roommate was about to move out, and we were like, yo, what if we made like the living room like the middle grade, like cool, affordable stuff. And then we put all the pieces we have been saving for years in that small room. We called it the VIP room.
Yeah.
And by the time he moved out, we kind of looked in our room at the collection of stuff that we didn't really wear. It was just stuff we were curating.
Yeah, because if I find like, you know,
a Nirvana shirt or something that we didn't love personally, because we only wear stuff that we really, really love. So if it wasn't something that was really our cup of tea, we'd just like put it under our bed.
And we still knew it was worth good money. And at that time we were selling wholesale. So we didn't like, if we put it out, we were very honorable with like, we would tell people like, yo, if you buy 25 items or more, our prices are like cheap. Like
half off.
Yeah. Like everything is really, really cheap. So we would, you know, like the most expensive piece we would sell for is like $60. Like everything was like under $60.
So we didn't want to put those.
We didn't want to put those good pieces up there. We would just put them in our room and hide them. And we're like, whenever we get to the point where we've built ourselves up enough where we can maybe charge more than $60, like
you gotta work your way up.
Yeah, like you gotta work your way up. So, and then we finally were like, yo, we had probably like 600 pieces that were, you know, that we had saved. And that was, I think it ended up being around 800. But when our roommate moved out, we had probably had about 600. And we were like, we're going to start the VIP room. And we're like going to start charging over $100 on stuff. I mean, we would every once in a while find a piece and charge over 100. But most of the time we would just keep it because it was like, we weren't there yet. We knew that we didn't have the following yet. We didn't, you know, or the platform
connections or anything.
Yeah,
like
we hadn't met enough people, and we were just, you know, we knew the people that we knew, and we knew like I was selling Betty Boop shirts for like $25, you know, just like
we didn't want to try to charge the most and rip people off when we didn't. You have to pay your dues to be able to work your way up. I feel like to be able to charge what
you gotta learn. You gotta learn what's up with it. It takes time.
Yeah,
you just gotta be and know everything.
Student. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I feel like sometimes people forget, or sometimes people don't remember, that you're forever a student. Like you can always keep learning. I'm sure you even know that. Like you're the goat of all goats, but I'm sure you find stuff.
No, trust me, we talk about you all the time. We're like, no,
you're the goat.
Jesse and Drew have been like, because it's proof to me. I'm like, yo, y'all are the first vintage website that I ever even heard of. Like, other than the fact that you could find
you kind of set the
t-shirt on eBay
for selling vintage, like creating a platform. So us to be able to be like, all right, we want to work ourselves up to be able to charge like a certain price or have a collection of pieces that people respected. So it kind of came to that point that we got to be able to create our space in our house, and that was the most fun.
Oh my gosh, like that was a
legendary.
It was we love it. Like, and we recorded a lot that year, and we're so happy we documented a lot of that because
we have so many videos in our phone that we never
like just dance videos, us like playing around.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say this when you guys were talking about all the dancing. We need to see more dancing.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh,
so
legit. Like that's it. We're gonna. I mean, I'm telling you now. We're letting it all out there.
A lot. But this year, like now, we were waiting till we created. Because when we create videos, like we have videos of us just practicing for like 3 hours just on my phone, just long hours. But when we want to drop something, we like to create like a cool concept. Like we just did a Earthling VIP custom drop, and we had a lot of the B-boys breaking all the clothes. And we really want, when we drop like dance videos, we want to create like an artistic video, you know.
We want to really, I mean, now we just want to add as much as we can into it.
Because we just dance to dance, but when we can create something even more elevated, it just
it goes back to that balance where it's like now we have full creative control because we're the stylists, we're the directors.
We know videographers.
We know some videographers now. Like we've built ourselves up a little bit in LA and being in the dance world and being in the fashion world and talking and meeting with everyone. We've met enough people now where we're like, we could make full-on commercials, videos, you know, music videos, whatever it may be. You know, we're really like, we have the confidence that we can do it the way, because like we're not half-assers. Like I'm not gonna just put out a random video of just, you know, that I'm not proud of. Like, I mean, I really want it to be something that we conceptualized and really made it something that we love.
We'll put like little clips on our stories, not on the Earthling page, just on our personal page for fun. But when we put stuff on the Earthling page,
so that first drop you guys did, you know, in my eyes, that's kind of what like blew you up. And I don't know, how did you guys feel about that?
No, we had 2,000 followers
We didn't make
before
an
that
Instagram
drop.
till like a couple years into when we were selling. All of our homies were like, yo, if you made an Instagram, everyone would fuck with your page. You guys always have crazy stuff.
And we were very like anti-internet people.
Yeah.
We're just very like earthy people.
We like to be underground. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and, like,
I mean,
to be honest, it's not all about. I mean, sure,
It's
like
not.
everyone sees it on Instagram, but like in reality, what you did was physical. What you did was real. What you did
We're
was
about
on
the people,
Instagram, which is
yeah.
You know?
No, for sure.
And that's like you got to meet the people. You know, a lot of big heavy hitters came to your house, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, a lot.
Like, who came?
Honestly.
Name some people that came and cashed out that day.
I'm
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
think.
So many people
Okay,
that day.
you know, you follow Animals Los Angeles now. He
Yeah.
was there supporting. Obviously, Rich was there. RS Vintage. We
Broken
had
Vintage. A
Broken
lot of
Vintage.
Japanese buyers came out. Mina and
Mina and Dasa. I'm sure you know them.
James came.
Yeah, a lot of everyone came and supported. It was like it blew our mind. We had 300 people show up to our house. We were
Cool
like,
Kid
what in the
Sal
hell?
was there. There was
Neighbors
there
are
was
like,
a lot of
what
people
is
there.
going on here?
Yeah, I mean,
neighbors.
Yeah, we warned our neighbors
Yeah.
for sure.
All
Yeah,
of our
we did.
neighbors were really cool.
Yeah, they
there
were good sports.
The first spot was like a barber shop. He kind of renovated his spot into a store too. Then we had our spot. Our other neighbor did music, and then there was like 2 families in the back, and they were like, "You party, we party, do whatever you want."
Yeah,
so they
like,
were really
nice.
cool.
Yeah, so
And
it worked out. We were in a good
blessed.
place to kind of grow.
We kind of finessed doing that drop there.
Yeah, for sure. Who else came? I'm trying to think.
So many people came.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. It was like, it was just it changed our whole perspective. We were like, wow, like
people really support us.
People stood in line for vintage T-shirts. Like that
we thought
blew our
maybe
mind.
Like 20 to 50 people were gonna come, and we had 300 people lined up at our door, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Like, I had no
crazy.
idea.
It was really crazy. I mean, it still blows our mind now. Like the fact that people were down to stand in line to buy from us. Like that's
dope, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. It's one of those things that's like innovative in a way. You know, you took it backwards. You brought the store into your house, but yet it's like grassroots, but innovative, interesting, fun, personal. And I don't even think I think I followed you on Instagram for like a little bit before that, but not very long. Because like I said, those early days at Rose Bowl, like I probably didn't even follow you on Instagram until I got the flyer, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you always asked us like, "Yo,
where
do you guys sell?
What do you guys do?
Like, what do you guys do?" And you always come and buy a bunch of stuff, but where are you bringing it to?
Right. And I mean, even at that point, like all the best stuff we were buying, like we were investing in stuff that like we had never sold that high a price. Like I would buy a shirt for $200, and I'm like, wow, I've never even sold a shirt for $200. Like, I wonder, like I'm gonna try to get $250. You know what I mean? It was like, I mean, like we had, but like it wasn't like we were doing that often. You know, like nowadays, it's like
what was the
whole
point?
world is like.
Where was the point when you realized, like, okay, shirts can go for ridiculous money? Like what was the first piece you seen sell, or the first piece you sold, or like when did it click?
When did it click?
I don't even know. I remember a long time ago we had this crazy Stevie Wonder shirt, and that's the only piece I forever regret selling.
Yeah, it was like
that brown one. It was like a 90s one, but it was super crazy, and I think
we
just
sold
love
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, I think we sold it for like $200 because we were like, Stevie Wonder's the truth. We're gonna charge whatever we want to charge for this shirt.
Yeah, and it was like one of those ones where it's like, I mean, we had sold a shirt for like $80, and we thought that was a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, and I don't know, and also like being like supporters and of the, you know, like we always spent our money like back into the community. Like we would always, if we wanted to wear something cool, like I kind of like we both kind of spent our money. And so like once we sold something for $200, like we were like, yo, now we got to go out there and buy something for $200 for ourselves. Like,
we have to like reasonalize that if we can spend something, then we can charge that to be able to feel.
Yeah, I wanted to play the customer too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I can justify like spending a lot of money on something, then someone else could. Like, I remember the first expensive shirt we ever bought was,
I think the Delicious.
Yeah, we got a Delicious vinyl shirt from round 2, and it was priced for $250, and that's back when they were still like throwing deals out there. And we actually walked into round 2 and like asked like we would always walk in there, but we would never really buy much, you know, because it was like, you know, it would just look, and we would maybe grab like one thing. I mean, like one thing for like
to them over the counter.
Yeah, we used to sell to them a lot.
Yeah, this was back when like Guess was really popping, and like I would find a lot of Guess stuff.
We used to sell them a bunch of Guess shirts, even for like those were the shirts we were selling for 100, 150. Tommy stuff, like t-shirts weren't really hitting that hard. Like we had a Ice Cube shirt for 2 years that we were asking. I think originally asking 200. That was the shirt we were charging a lot. Then we brought it down to like 150, and then we bought it from our homie Richard RS
for
Vintage
100.
For 100. Then we brought it down to 120. Then we were like, all right, let's ask 100. This is what
and
we're
like, I guess we just have to get rid of it for what we got it for, and we sold it for 100.
Took us like a year or two to sell that.
It took a year to sell, and it's like nowadays that shirt would sell probably, I don't know, $400 or $500 like that. You know,
I mean,
it's
t-shirts back then were hitting. It was just a lot different.
Yeah, it was different shirts.
You could get big Raglins or like the older stuff, like certain
rock
tees, and
that's
not what's hitting now.
Yeah. We were selling rock tees like crazy. People would come up to us looking at our shirts were usually a hip hop shirt or like a history shirt or something, and they'd be like, yo, where's all the hip hop tees? Because we were only selling rock shirts and like brand shirts.
Yeah, because it's like
all the hip hop shirts.
Yeah, because I mean, even now it hurts us to sell hip hop shirts. Like we love hip hop tees because that's what we grew up on. Yeah, and so it was just, you know, like we'll sell 100 rock tees to buy, you know, 30 really good hip hop shirts. You know, it's like that's how we were doing it. But then we got so many customers coming in being like, yo, I want that shirt off your back though. Like, why don't you have any of those Nas shirts? And like, why don't you have any Erykah Badu shirts available? And I'm like, because I keep that stuff. Like I sell all this stuff to go pay good money on these because
we're collectors first.
Yeah, like we started collecting, you know, so it kind of
I love that. I love that what you just said about becoming the customer and it like rationalizing it with yourself. And it goes for so many different levels. Like it goes for like theft too. Like a lot of people in the game will fuck somebody over to like get a deal or like steal something and then try to sell it. But you're like, yo, that karma's coming right back at you. And it's the same karma, like you're saying, like buying karma and selling karma. It's like you got to be able to like have that energy out there to be getting that energy.
Yeah,
for sure. I remember
and you gotta go through being a customer to know what you like about being a customer, what you don't like. We used to go into vintage stores and be like, all right, I love this about the store, how they organize it, but I don't like how maybe you walk in and no one doesn't say anything to you and they're just waiting for you to buy something. So you learn and you figure out what would work for a seller because you want your clients to feel comfortable when they're shopping
we're like
with you.
Very people, you know, like going back to like our in-person like we love the in-person interaction because it's like you get to meet us, you get to meet the people that collected and curated the shirts and
have a whole conversation with them about one shirt.
And then I get to learn the customer too, like being on the other side of it. Like I get to learn the customer
what they collect,
what they love, you know. And it's like, all right, cool, you love these shirts, cool, I'm gonna go out and look for some of those for you, you know, whether it's actually gonna end up in your hands again. But it's like the next time you come, I want to have, like, if someone liked, I don't know, Betty Boop shirts, and it's like I only had one and they bought it, and I'm like, all right, cool, they like Betty Boop shirts, I'm gonna go out and find 5 more, so the next time they come, there's 5 of them for them to pick through instead of just buying the one that I had, you know.
That's what I miss about the bowl so much. You know, having those interactions with people. And are you guys back at the Flea now at Melrose?
We were right when they opened. We took the last like 3 weeks off because we've really been focusing on creating this space because we're about to open on Saturday, and we just kind of need to put our all into this. We actually did a live like 2-3 weeks ago and sold everything we had at the flea market so that we could work on this space.
Yeah, we just auctioned everything. Well, we auctioned half of it and then did like fixed prices on half of it, and everything sold. And even the ones that didn't sell off the fixed prices, we auctioned them at the end.
So we could just get rid of it.
We just wanted to kind of like start over. And so we could just like
we needed the money.
Yeah, and we were running down to our, like I said, we spent everything on this move. So
so let's get into this. Okay, that's the reason we're doing this. Well, I'm doing this because I like you guys, you're my homies. But also because we're gonna promote the shit out of this event, and it's this Saturday, right?
Yep.
See,
holy shit, like day. What? 24
hours basically, because I'm putting this out in the morning. So 24 hours. If you're listening to this, if you're in LA, you got to go check this out. Give the quick plug of where it is. Give the address. We're going to talk about it though.
Well, so actually we can't give out the address. It's actually kind of full at this point.
Okay.
We could probably fit just a few more. We're squeezing a few people in there because you never know. A couple people might not show up. We actually have 500 people coming on Saturday.
So we did a RSVP. So that's how we did it. Just because, COVID's going on right now. We can't like legally have
blow up the block.
Yeah, we can't just have like 500 people show up all at one time.
Yeah.
So we did it hour slots. So we dropped a photo of the space about a month ago. And we did RSVP, first come, first serve. And we did it in time slots. So we were allowing 30 to 35 people per hour starting at like 8 a.m. in the morning. And so it starts at 8 a.m. and it's going to go all the way until 11 or midnight. And we're doing 35 people per hour. So it's like, in order from people that DM'd us, we're like, your slot time is 9 a.m. Your slot time is 10 a.m. Your slot time. So people kind of show up throughout the day. And so we can kind of, each group gets an hour to shop everything. And then, if it wasn't COVID, we would just be like, pull up whenever. Totally. But,
I feel that. Kind of that makes sense. So anyway, hit them up RSVP. You might be able to get in if you're lucky.
Yeah. If you DM us.
One of my questions was, you mentioned it. You're like, we invested so much into this. I mean, it's not, it doesn't take a big hit on the pocketbook if you're like, a t-shirt here, a t-shirt there, a t-shirt here, a t-shirt there, like you probably did on your first one, right? Where it was kind of just like, you didn't even think about it because you just put a couple away here and there.
Yeah.
But this one, you probably actually went out and spent up and made this happen because you basically created this whole thing through COVID.
Well, actually, so after we did our last drop in August, right after we did the last drop, we started curating for this drop. We started collecting our hip hop tees. We actually started collecting movie tees and really crazy cartoon tees because they actually didn't even really have a big market at that time. But we just wanted to create. We were like, what if we put together 300 movie tees and everyone loves movies. So if you could come in and pick any movie tee you wanted, and everyone loves movies. So if you could pick through all of those, you're going to find something that you love. And we started with the movie tees, then we started collecting Rodman tees and the specific rock tees, and we wanted to get a really big art tee collection. So a few pieces we've had for longer than a year, but we really started collecting it last August. And that's kind of how we built up so much stuff. Because if we started like a couple months ago, we wouldn't have been able to get all this stuff.
Yeah. So we
put in a lot of money into this.
We have over 1,000 items in this drop. So this drop, we started early on. Right after our first drop, it blew our mind. We were like, wow. And we had, after our grand opening, it was the first time we ever made any like real like money, is anytime we had any like savings. And we were like, what are we going to do with the savings? Like, we're going to invest it. And we're like, what are we going to invest it in our business? So we're like, let's collect and curate a better version of this. Like, I was like, we actually only had like 4 movie tees in the last drop. We had like a Tales from the Crypt, like maybe a Men in Black, a Clockwork Orange, and like
couple Terminators.
And like a couple Terminators. And we're like, that was weak. Like, we need movie tees.
We were kind of upset we didn't have that many movie tees. So we were like, let's just start really collecting those. And we knew we were going to do a drop at some point, but we didn't know when or where, because we didn't want to do it in the same space. So it was kind of the whole year we really started collecting them. Anytime we made money, we'd pay our bills with it, reinvest a little bit into selling stuff so we could make more money, and then stashing pieces. So we kind of split our money into 3 so that we could balance it and stack up these pieces. Every time we went and bought like 50 pieces, we'd stack like 10, 15 of them. And
the best pieces we were hiding from everyone. We were like, even our friends, like we were like, oh, yo, we just found this crazy tee.
We wouldn't show anybody.
We just like stash it, put it under our bed. We had like under our bed was like all the craziest stuff. And like people would come into our room and they wouldn't even see, like they'd see our personal collection, but like that wasn't even the stuff that we were going to sell in this collection. So we were like,
I mentioned it before. I've been in your bedroom. Bedroom was crazy. Like that shit blew my mind. You guys you must have had more than 1,000 t-shirts in your bedroom when I went in there. It was stacks of heat.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it
took years to get all that
I mean, it did. I mean, we just, we just fell in love with like, if we have one of these, like right now, I'll give a little insight of something that we are going to do in the future. We don't know when we're going to finish, but we're collecting a lot of drug shirts right now.
We've been collecting them for
and
a
we've
long
been collecting
time.
them for a long time. Like anything like cartoon drug related, like we've just been buying that up for a while. And
hippie stuff.
We have like, I'm looking at the stack over there right now. We probably have like
couple hundred,
maybe like a couple hundred of them just sitting there. And it's like, we don't know when we're going to do that drop, but like,
and
that's something
not,
that we've had to decide.
not in this drop.
No. So we have drops that like there's a
for the future.
The first thing that ever actually we ever did this was with history shirts. So
there's
like
this, well, we collect a bunch of history shirts, but there's this brand called Casey's World, and the tag kind of looks like a cross colors tag. It's a little circle with like the yellow, red, green logo, but they do a lot of history tees, and it just has a lot of empowering people on it. So we got really into collecting those.
And mainly for ourselves at first. And then we were like, we kept finding them, and like really no one cared about them. At first we were getting them for $20, and then we seen a couple people started charging 50, and then a couple people started charging 100, and some of those like all over print ones, you know, some people go like 150, even 200.
Are you talking like the positive black man behind you, that shirt?
Yeah, or like
very similar to this.
Yeah, just like this. So this is Casey's World, the positive people.
Yeah.
It'd be like great heroes or like women of power. It's just a lot of inspiring people, you know, who kind of are.
History's important, and we're like, these
history
shirts
is where you are now.
Yeah, it's like if someone's down to pay $500 for, you know, a rap shirt, it's like
this has way more meaning.
I personally think that this is
just
as meaningful and just as cool. And we still to this day like we don't really want to sell them because they're just so unique, and like maybe I don't know if we ever will. Yeah, we might just do like a museum type thing for them and just like show them and maybe not even sell them. But
we just love collecting.
That kind of made us realize like, yo, what if we collect a lot of one thing? Like,
to sell,
whether it be movie tees, cartoon tees, whatever. And like that kind of inspired us to like collect other stuff that we didn't maybe care so much about, and we could sell them. Like, you know, we're not super into rock, and so our last drop had like 300-400 rock tees in it, and it's like we were down to sell those, and we could give, you know, solid prices. And you know, when you care about something, it hits those nostalgic strings, so it's hard for you to price it because you're like, ooh, like I would pay this much, but then they would pay, you know. But when you're a little bit separated from it, you can kind of look at it on an outside perspective and give like a solid, like, all right, this, and you know, as long as you do your research and you find out what's what, and you know what I mean? It's like, you know, we obviously.
But how do you feel? Like, you're right. It is hard. Like some things I've priced stupid high because I'm like, that's just so cool to me. But then other people are like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Fine,
I mean,
whatever, but that's because I like it. And everyone has those pieces, of course.
Yep.
But right now the market's so fucking topsy-turvy. It's like going nuts. It's like, I'm finding it so hard to figure out what the prices are, what the values are.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, we just finished pricing like
this
2-3 days ago.
Time it was really hard for us.
It was
to
hard
price.
because
like,
we wanted to.
Usually we're like, how much is this? We'd both say it on the dot, 200. How much is this? 3. This time we're like, he's saying 3, I'm saying 450 or 5, and then we're like, it's so like, crazy. Like,
and then we gotta call our friends like, yo, what do you think about this? I think 300. She thinks 450, and he's like, nah, bro, I seen that sell yesterday for 500, and we're like, what? Like. It's like blowing our mind. I'm like, because in a day something could change, you know, with like all the live auctions and everything. And, you know, I mean, we've always like, we're always watching everything, and we're always studying, whether it be eBay comps, whether it be on live auctions, whether it, you know, be just hitting someone up. And
we
interested
also
to buy a shirt.
Price based off, like you were saying, off our taste. If we
off
think something's
heart, you know?
really cool, we're going to tax on it. Or if we really appreciate it, like we have this Jill Scott shirt in our drop. We always talk about this one because we've bought a bunch of Jill Scott tees for like 60, 80, 20, 100. But this shirt, like Jill Scott is such a legend. And to us, the person who's going to buy it is going to feel the same way as we do. I would pay up on a Jill Scott shirt, but no one charges it. So we're going to put her a little bit higher because
just because of our personal taste. Like,
taste.
the market isn't saying Jill Scotts are dope right now, but we're like, hey, well, we think she's dope, so we're gonna price her up. If someone's down to pay 300, 400, 500, who cares a number for a Lauren or, you know, a Brandy or, you know, anyone that kind of is in the same genre as her.
She
I'm like, why
shine.
isn't she getting the shine either? And so it's like,
Yeah,
it's kind of one of those things.
That's with everything.
Yeah, and that's with everything. It's like, you know, one rock shirt's going for $20, and the next rock shirt's going for, you know, $1,000. And it's like, you know, it's really up to all of us too, as the sellers, to show the people what's dope also. And it's like,
we also price
that's what's
based
cool
on
about
the whole collection.
Well, exactly. I was going to say that, you know, something like those history tees, it's kind of like you're curating something that no one else has really curated, and you're making, you could literally single-handedly make that cool, put it on the map, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then with curating the whole collection, like you have 1,000 pieces, it's like you're adding value to it just by doing that. And you're also, you're adding convenience to people. It's like, they're going to, like you said, they're going to find that movie tee that they're like, shit, that was my favorite jam. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you for sure add a lot of value by doing it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
I mean,
I feel like people can respect it once you've really put the time in. We've put a year, if not longer.
Yeah, I would say
some pieces longer.
I would say a year to 2 years. This collection kind of has like been manifested, you know, in a way.
We did last drop in between this one, so some pieces we didn't even put in last drop because we were like, let's wait till we get a different space or wait till we get more stuff that kind of goes with the genre. And yeah, it's just like when you curate and collect something, like when we go to other people's drops or like Chico, do you know Chico's Closet and Esco?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, every time they do drops, like I'll cash out on something because they put their all
one of the first guys on the podcast. If you go back to like the first episodes, he was.
That's true. I actually listened to that. I forgot about that. That's a long time ago.
Yeah,
but
and so that's like
they're real ones.
Yeah, they kill it, and
you can respect their prices because you know they put so much work into curating the pieces.
And they don't do just
to
t-shirts. They're getting unreleased photos from photographers from the 90s. They're
pizza
getting
boxes from Do the Right Thing.
Like
crazy.
All this amazing stuff that I'm like, wow, I didn't even think of that, you know. And it's like, just the fact that I even think of that, I respect that, you know. And it's like,
just the fact you went that far, like, I'm gonna grab this piece from you because I love it and you put the time into collecting it and putting something cool together.
And like they're I don't know when, but it says in their bio on the Chico and Esco page, they're gonna do like a Mobb Deep installation, and I'm like, I don't even like. I've been searching and scouring for like a Mobb Deep shirt. Yeah, and it's like I still haven't gotten my hands on one. And it's like I'm so excited.
We've ever had one, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we've ever had one.
They're hard, and I'm surprised that they're even doing. I'm like, how do y'all even have enough Mobb Deep merch to even put a collection together? That's crazy. And you know, and it's like I respect that so much when someone, you know, goes for the gusto, when they're like, I'm going to do something that no one's done. And like, that's kind of always been our look at it too. We're like, let's put together the best stuff.
People,
yeah. And it's like convenience. Like you said, it's like, you know, people want microwavable food. They want it right now, right there. They don't want to wait 6 months and go do the work for it. And that's fine. We'll do the work. We're happy to do it. And we'll put it all together for you. And, you know, it does come with a price, but at the end of the day, you get to look through 1,000 shirts, and you get to pick your favorite one.
Find that personal you've been trying to find for years and years and years.
Because it's like there's days where I'm like, damn man, I've been looking for this for 5 years and I still haven't found it. And it's like, you know, when you get to go to a space and just pick something out that you know, like you're gonna love forever and keep forever. It's like, you know,
it's like that thing people always say. Well, they used to say it more now. I could just go find this in the thrift, you know. That's like a reseller's nightmare quote, right? I can just go find this in the thrift. It's kind of, that quote is kind of dying away because people now are becoming more educated. As this business grows, like the lives and Instagram is kind of promoting knowledge about what this stuff is and how hard it is to find, and like how you can tell the difference between the mall tee and the real vintage tee.
100%.
Like, people get it now, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No,
and you really can't go to the thrift to find it anymore. Like,
yeah, my response would be like, all right, I'll see you next week with that tea then, you know? It's
like people at the flea market will sometimes still say that, but people in the community are definitely getting away from that because you know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's so funny still. There's days where like, I remember there's like, we had a Grateful Dead shirt. It was like a sick ass one. And we had a good price on it. It was like $150. And this guy like walked up to it and he wanted it. And then his friend walked up to it with him and was like, he's like, yo, how much you asking? Or the guy asked how much he was asking on it. Or no, I think we just had the price on it. And he asked his friend like, yo, how much is it? And he's like, $150. He's like, it was a tie-dye, just like, it was like the bear kind of made out of the tie-dye.
With no print.
No like print at all. It was just like the tie-dye
Super
made the
sick.
like Grateful Dead bear, and it was sick. I was like, yo, this is a great one. And they just looked at the price, and his friend like grabbed him by the shirt, like tugging him away, like, bro, you could make that shit. Like, you know, and it's like, yeah, of course you could, but like, it's fine. You just don't, like, for you to not get it is fine. You know what I mean? It's like the ones that'll get it will run up to him and be like, yo, this is crazy. 150, boom, I'll take that, you know? And so it's like, it's like coming into that world where it's
but
like,
now you're going to be telling the head at the flea market, you're like, that one's 3,000. That one's 5,000. They're going to be like,
yeah, I know. It's so
crazy. No, yeah, we still like to keep cheaper stuff
we
at the flea.
our stuff now. Our showroom is all like
that
super,
scares people.
Yeah.
even 150 scares people.
It does. Even at Melrose, and Melrose is one of the best markets to sell like more high-end stuff, but even over 150 people will look at you crazy unless they walk up with a vintage shirt on it.
Right. And that's the thing, is like, that's kind of how we do it now, is like we use Melrose as like a marketing thing. So it's like we still curate it very nicely,
everything,
but it's
like
a little
200
bit
and under.
Yeah, like we don't really go over like 200 when it comes to the shirts. And then someone walks in, you know, wearing like, you know, the like a couple weeks ago, some dude walked in with like wearing the Electric Rodman shirt, and I was like, oh, he knows. Like, and so I told him, I was like, yo, man, like, we're gonna be opening up this store, our showroom. It's all appointment only.
Then
we're gonna have a grand opening
page
here.
to see the
check
stuff
the
we
page
really
out if you know. Yeah, it's like you kind of can guide them to the rare stuff if they're the ones that are looking for that stuff, and the ones that just want to buy the nice $60, $50 cool vintage tee, like those,
because Melrose is still good for quick like flips, and that's how you make the money to pay for the expensive stuff. Like, you got to buy the $10, $20, $30 pieces, sell them for 20, 30, 40 to 100, because that's the money you're really making money on those pieces, to be able to buy and sit on a couple pieces for a month or a couple weeks or a couple months to get it to the right home. And we'll never get away from Melrose. We just like to keep a little bit better price, cheaper stuff, because most of the people out there like to pull triggers on like Harley tees and like 2000s rock tees and just
Looney Tunes shirts.
Yeah, Looney Tunes.
Okay, so you're in your space right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, what is this space? Because it looks to me like an office-y little mini warehouse, or are you guys living there too?
Yeah, okay, we're in our bedroom right now.
It's crazy because we posted one level of the space, but this level, I know you've been to our spot and a couple other people who are listening to this. This spot is like 5 to 6 times the size of our last spot, and it's 3 levels.
So yeah, it's
we're on the
stories.
Top level. This is
is this zoned for living? Is this like a loft, livable?
Well, it's called like live, work, play. So everyone who's here has a business.
Yeah, but they also live here too. So
they're all lofts.
It's really cool. Like, our neighbors are really sick.
Super dope.
Yeah, like our neighbor to the right of us, she also runs a vintage store called Gigi's Vintage, and she does more like true vintage stuff. And
like styles.
Yeah, and she actually like was telling us stories about, like, she's like, oh yeah, I styled for Nicolas Cage back in the day. Like, I used to sell the Michael Jackson and all this shit. I'm like, whoa, like,
damn,
that's crazy, you know? And I'm like, so there's people doing, there's a cool salon, and there's like some photography spots, and like we're really in like a cool little hub over here of like, there's like probably 50 units that are in this big warehouse.
And it's cool because it's not downtown. It's like 8 minutes from our last spot, so it's still in like
we're like 15 minutes from Melrose
area. So that's the best part about it, because spots like this you can only find in the arts district downtown. So we were super excited to find this spot, and going downtown is a whole mission. So we didn't want to go down there to get a spot. We wanted to find a spot that we could live and work, because we like to wake up and be in our space and just start going.
Yeah, it's like we don't want to drive to a store and then drive home for dinner. It's like we do it all here, you know, do it all in one space.
I was going to talk about this before. I forgot.
Yeah, what's up?
So you guys are like, are you high school sweethearts? Like, did you meet when you were that young?
Okay,
we met when we were 12 years old.
No, we went before high school. At a dance event, so you were dancing back then. 12 years old.
I've been dancing since I was 6, and same with her, like, since she was like 5 or 6. But we met. We met when we were 12 years old. I was actually I was at like a dance. We were at
convention.
We were at like a dance competition / convention, and I was with my group, and we performed, and it was really funny. One of her friends wanted to take a picture with me, and so she took the picture, and that's how we met. It was like, you know. she was like, oh, I think this little kid's cute. Like, I want to take a
all
picture
right,
of him.
let's go take a picture, whatever.
And so that's when we met. And then we actually ended up going to high school together.
And we recognized each other.
And we recognized each other off that moment. And so, like, we never really hung out until we got into high school. And we didn't start dating until senior year of high school. But I actually tried to start dating. I tried to start hollering at her in 10th grade.
Oh
and
my God.
Yeah, it was funny. It was always this little thing. I was always after her. Yep.
Always after.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, you guys live together. You live where you work. You work together. That's a lot of fucking time together. That's togetherness, okay?
People know we're like this.
We're one human being. We tell
if we're
all the
apart,
time.
we're like tripping out. Like, we're glued at the hip.
Yeah,
because
we love it.
I know you're one person
share
because
memories.
when I'm in the DMs, I'm like, who is it? I'm like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you just said it, and then we're like, it's both of us.
It's funny because we were both sitting there, and I would answer one thing, then you would respond, then he would answer one thing because we're literally sitting right next to each other. We're
And
like,
so
it's both of us.
She'll do something, and then she sets the phone down and then goes somewhere, and then I pick the phone up and respond to you. So it's like, I'm like, I don't know who's talking to you. We're both talking to you. Like, we're the same person.
Like, you guys are so tight. You guys never fucking fight. You guys never have business disagreements or like, I want to do this.
Oh yeah, we do for sure. But like, we
have a good balance. Like, we've been together so long, so if there's something that we're like arguing about or something small, we can cut it off so fast.
Like, we've gotten so
we just
good
understand each other really
we've
well.
gotten so good at knowing each other's like triggers or anything like that like, if we ever get into an argument, we knock it out in 5 minutes. Like, it's like boom, boom, boom. And then we're like, and I'm like, what, are you salty? And she's like, no. And I'm like, all right, cool. Then we're fine. Like, it's like, we just like, like even yesterday or 2 days ago, like we were talking about a price. Cause I think that's the main thing right now. Like, if we argue, we're like talking about a price. I'm at one price, she's at another. And I'm like, yo, I don't know about this one. Like, I feel like we should be doing 200, not 250. And then she's like, well, you said 300 on this one.
This one's doper
than that one. And I'm like, so we're sitting here like just mind-boggling, like trying to figure out, because it's like now that we have this all-in-one collection, it's
power to you guys for being so fucking open and tight like that. Because I met my wife because she worked in our store. I don't know if I.
That's dope.
That's sick.
But then so that's like very different dynamic because like I'm boss, she's employee, so we're dating like that for a while, and then she's not home right now. You hear me talk? She's out. I'm with the kids. But so I can tell the story. So anyway, she worked. We opened another store together. So we opened our second store together, and then she managed it. And we worked together for probably another year after that. But then there came a point where it was like this boss-employee relationship thing, not good for the personal relationship. Yeah. So we had to stop working together, which is fine. But I think it's more. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but I think it's more common. Like, I don't know a lot of people who work so close together, live so close together, and are together. Yeah. As much as the other way, and I think it's
people actually ask us that a lot too. They're like, "How are your guys' life so close?" But that we both love a lot of the same things, and we've grown so much together that. I don't know. I couldn't even imagine us doing separate things.
It personally, like,
we're each other's boss.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no one boss.
Yeah, if there's a day where I'm slacking, she's bossing me around, and there's a day she's slacking, I'm bossing her around. Like, we balance it out.
We gotta keep each other going. Like, if one person's, like he was saying, if one person's not on their P's and Q's that day, the other person's hyping them up to be like, no, let's do this, this, and this, and make sure we accomplish these things throughout the day. Like,
like one of our
a good balance.
I'll tell you this: one of our best ways that we always make sure we get up and we get something done is right before we go to sleep. We talk to each other about what we want to do the next day. We're like, what do we got to get done tomorrow?
We like to make the most.
We like to make most of our day. It's like we like to wake up early and we like to stay up late.
Even if it's not planned, it's just ideas and goals.
Yeah, we have like a huge list in our phone of just like. Even like right when we moved into this spot, like in 5 days, we had all the bones set up, like a bunch of pictures up. Like, we were
racks
quick.
Drilled in.
Yeah, we were drilling the racks in. We got everything hung up. We were steaming. We were trying to price because we knew it was going to take a while, but
the details take the longest, like the picture frames, the plans, organizing the 1,000 t-shirts in a perfect order so it looks like a story when you look through it. Like, those are the things that take the longest.
She's like it's crazy.
I'm OCD with it.
And we also, like, another reason that we've learned to work really good together is like we know each other's strengths. So like she personally, she's like, she goes a little bit more detailed than I will go. I can like spark the idea, and she'll execute the idea, and I'll be like the, you know, so it's like I'll have this crazy idea for something.
That's a good balance.
You know,
sure.
Yeah, and so like it's very interesting. Like my mind is, I'm kind of a little bit ADHD, so like I just have an idea and then I like move to the next thing, and I'm like working on another idea.
I'm like, yo, we need to go back and like actually think about this idea in full, because this is like some crazy shit. If we really build off this, it could be something cool.
For sure. Like, and also like she's really good at like taking those big giant photos that we always do. And it's so funny. That's our one.
It did look. Somebody commented. It was like, looks like you're floating. At first I was like, is she hanging on like a zip line or something? Because it looks like you're fully floating.
Yeah, so we're like, there's those stairs that go up to our 3rd level, because the room that we took pictures of is the 2nd level, and that's where the vintage stuff is. And I'll stand up on the stairs and hold on the railing and like lean over it, and I'm about to fall. Nick's like, you're gonna eat shit. Like, I'm trying to get the photo.
Yeah,
you're a dancer, so you'll land on your feet no matter if you fall or not. You're good.
Yeah, for sure. But the photos are fun.
So you say that's the 2nd floor. What's on the main floor? Like just the entrance?
So the first floor is the entrance.
So the first floor is like the entrance. Right when you walk in, we have space. We're kind of treating it like our creative space. So did you end up seeing the breaking video that we just did? The dance video?
We'll send it to you after
I'll send it to you right after this. You'll see a little bit of the first floor. So we did this really cool, we filled a whole wall. Do you remember our bathroom at our old spot with all the records?
Yeah.
It was head to toe records.
Yeah, head to toe and records and like CDs and tapes and all that. So
our first floor is big.
Yeah, our first floor is huge. And so we basically made like this creative space where we're going to rent it out actually for photo shoots, video shoots, styling gigs, like whatever. It's basically going to just be like a creative space for us and for our friends, our, people that we meet, clients, things like that. Cause we do sell to a lot of people that, do music videos. They have a big Instagram following, so they're always trying to have new photos for their Instagram and yada, yada, yada. So like we wanted to kind of always have a space for that. And we always wish we had one. So that first floor, we allowed it to keep it really open, and we're really kind of trying to do more of like the creative stuff down there. And we have a little corner sectioned off that we did
custom.
Yeah, we did some custom Earthling stuff where we curated a whole bunch of like kind of workwear stuff, like Carhartt, Dickies, and some like Levi's jackets.
We'll have to send you something.
And
we'll send you something.
Yeah. So basically, when we moved, we liked a lot of the workwear stuff because it already was like a little bit messed up, or it had paint on it. So right before we moved, we curated a bunch of like Carhartt, Dickies, jumpsuits, Levi's
overalls,
jackets, a bunch of different stuff. And we had to paint our last spot because we drilled a bunch of bars into it. So we had to paint it.
Before we left.
We would switch our pants like 10 times a day and just wipe our hands on the pants to give them a little bit extra love on the ones that didn't have it.
So it's like real natural paint. Like we didn't sit there and like paint each, we didn't like splatter around.
We wanted them to be super natural, like someone was painting, because that's what we were doing. And then every pair of pants we did, our homie did our print work, and he's a b-boy as well. We wanted to keep it within the community so we can give him money and keep supporting the people around us. But every pair of pants we did, each pair is completely different. They have the same.
I'm actually wearing a pair right now, so
they have the same logos, but they're all in
these ones are on white. You probably can't even read it, but it says Earthling right here down the leg, and then on the other side, it has a recycling logo, an Earth. And then it has a clock too. So we did a clock, a Earth, and a recycling logo. This is like recycle stuff from the Earth, that's from a long time ago. It's kind of our whole thing. And
then we also have our little slogan that says student of the game, being of the earth. That's kind of just our motto. You always got to be a student of the game. And we are all Earthlings. So we kind of wanted to create something off that.
I'm a 34 waist, so hook it up.
We got you.
I'm going to send you some stuff, some pants and some hoodies or something.
Yeah, we got you. Just let us know what you want. If you want a pair of pants, we got you. We also got send you photos of everything.
I didn't even know. That's super tight. I'm super stoked for you guys for Saturday. You guys are going to kill it.
We're so excited.
We're just excited the fact that we can see everybody. It's been COVID, and it's like we can't even hang out with, all our peoples, and it's like
a bunch of homies are flying out too, which is really crazy.
It blew our mind. We
have like them out here.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people that are flying out, and I'm like, wow, you guys are like, y'all are committing.
Who's flying in?
like Future Past and Heat Broker and
King of the Hill vintage, Kit vintage,
503 vintage,
503 vintage.
Bunch of people, yeah, it's
so many people.
I think we have around 50 to 100 people who are flying or at least coming from out of state. They're driving. There's some people from Arizona.
Lots more people we didn't name. I mean, we have a huge list, but
sorry if we didn't.
Are you guys gonna go to Chris's Flea in Florida?
We really want to. We're trying to make
Richard,
it happen.
RS Vintage, we're planning on going, but we would just be buying and kind of chopping it up with the community because I think it would be too hard to bring stuff out there and vend, and they already sold all the spots basically for it.
That was fast.
It'd be really hard to bring some stuff out there, I think. But we definitely want to go and buy some stuff. We're trying to get.
Yeah, I'm trying to be. Yeah. I just want to be there because I know it's gonna
say what up to everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great, hub for.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm trying to make it down to Cali in October.
Let's go.
Come kick it. Do some buying.
Miss you.
Obviously, I'm not. Yeah, I miss you guys. I'm not going to be selling at the bowl because it's not open, but I don't really care. You know what's crazy is that our locker, you've been to my locker.
Yeah.
We haven't touched the locker in like 8 months.
My God.
There. Prices have gone crazy high.
You're like, yo, I need to go check out my freaking
if you come out here, let us come through. We'll come buy some stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, if you guys, I mean, I know that Rose Bowl's not happening, but hey, you guys could pop up at Melrose. I mean, Melrose is sick. I mean, at the end of the day,
we have a permanent spot, so if you guys want to do it.
Yeah, we have a permanent spot. So if y'all want to.
What do you do when you take the week off? You just give it to somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
one week we gave it to someone. The last 2 weeks they said it was all right. We didn't do it. We tried to find someone, but everyone already had their plans booked. But after this weekend, not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, we'll be there again every single Sunday. So
yeah, we'll be back on it. Yeah. But yeah, dude, definitely come out. Like Melrose now and even Silver Lake Flea.
Silver Lake's good too.
Yeah, they've kind of, I mean, because all the Rose Bowl cats don't have anywhere to sell, so they've been selling there. So it's kind of like the Rose Bowl, people.
It's smaller, yeah.
That's
it's just a little smaller, yeah. So it's cool. It's like at the end of the day,
it's a cool vibe.
Doesn't matter if we're in one parking lot across. It doesn't really. As long as it's the same people, and that's what makes it. Yeah, that's what makes it cool.
At least the people who live in California.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for y'all.
I'm just happy to come see everybody. Do some business, go catch some waves, get some California sun if you smoke sun. Fucking smoke.
Oh yeah.
We even have smoke up here. It's blowing up from like Oregon and stuff.
Really? Yeah, so Oregon's been bad. I've seen.
Man, dude, it was like for a week straight out
it's
here.
It's like hard to breathe out here.
Today was the first day I seen blue sky.
Yeah, and the sun, like the moon. The last couple nights have been like either orange or it's so foggy you can only see the silhouette of the sun or the moon. It's crazy out here, but.
Yo, can we end this? Can you quickly just walk through your space?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right, let me flip it. Flip this? Oh, yeah, right here. Okay, so basically we're in our room right now.
Okay, this is the bedroom, guys.
This is the third level. I'll give you just a quick flip around. We haven't completely set it up yet, but so now let's get to the shop.
Yeah, you stand up here and just pop down. You can see.
So the ceilings are super high. You can even see how it goes all the way down to the third level.
Yeah, we still got one rack out there. We're trying to get everything steamed.
We did a crazy picture wall here. Yeah, we have one rack out that's not going to be here on the opening.
Looks amazing. That's a really cool space.
It's really beautiful, honestly. It's super industrial. The vibe is amazing. The ceilings are super high. The windows are probably our favorite part because you get the natural lighting. You don't even have to have any lights on.
You have those automatic blinds, that come up and down?
We actually have to but they're really nice blinds where you can't see the sun through here. Yeah, I'll walk you through this little area. So we kind of hang the shirts off our railing up here. We were trying to use every part of the space as much as we could. We did another picture wall going downstairs. We kind of put stuff everywhere. It's like a little jungle in here. Yeah.
So dope.
Super sick. And we can show you the downstairs too really fast as well.
Yeah, so we have stuff kind of – I love this glass wall right here. It's super 70s.
Brick, super 80s, 70s, old school vibes.
But yeah, this space is really nice and open. This rack won't be here obviously, but This space just gives us a lot more creativity.
Oh, man, you do so much in there.
Yeah, so this is basically the main floor. It's really simple. A lot of people don't even know we have the first floor because we didn't photograph it.
And these are actually all of the custom stuff, y'all. I'll give you a little sneak of the pants.
Ended off with the Earthling.
These are like the pants. These are some Carhartts. We got the 3 hits right there.
We did some without
Earthling.
paint too. And then the little student of the game, being at the Earth.
And then we actually used we tweaked it a little bit, but we used the Sherman-Williams logo.
Yeah, I was going to say that Sherman-Williams. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We took the paint can off of it because we were doing workwear stuff.
Yeah, it usually has a paint can pouring all of everything on top of it. We just took that off and kept the flat circle one.
We had to tweak it.
And then we also did the backs of all the sweaters.
With the big logo on it.
Big logo on it, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
then we did a bunch of jumpsuits and overalls,
some denim jackets.
Super cool, guys. I'm super.
And then this is like, when I send you the video, you'll see this is where we were doing the breaking video, and this is kind of the area where people could rent. It could be like industrial vibe, super crazy colors. We have a bunch of plants everywhere. We're gonna get some like black backdrops and colored backdrops for people to do creative stuff down here. But, oh yeah, we're lined up for the drop, so people have water.
Hydrated.
Nice.
So many waters.
Look at this prep.
Yeah, we're super excited. We just can't wait to see people in here.
Yeah, we're super hyped.
Such a sick step up. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
That space is so good. Like, it's
beautiful.
I can't wait for you to see it in person.
Yeah,
so.
like, and it's way easier. Like, I remember last time is like it's hard to even step into our room. Now, like, if you want to come into our room, there's space.
Big, yeah.
There's space to shop. There's space to hang out down here. It's like it's a lot more. We could just do more. We could have like. When everyone comes into town, we can have 10, 15 people here.
Still
and it'll
feels
be comfortable.
empty.
You know, everyone's like, yeah, we're all hanging out. Like, we can fit 30, 35 people shopping at the same time. So it's like, it's going to be great. We're really excited to be able to have this space for everyone. Because it's like, it's a community-based thing. So this space allows that, you know?
Yeah, and people will take you up on that. You'll be getting hit up all the time. Everyone,
yeah, for sure. And now we can do like these first 4 racks down here too. We're gonna start allowing some people to do like some installations and stuff in here if they
collection releases.
Yeah, if someone wants to do a little drop in LA, like we actually have the space to do that. I remember like last year, Thrift Lord asked us if he could do his pop up at our house when we still had our other house, and I'm like, dude. Like
it's small.
It's so small. Like it does. Like we kind of just winged it last time. It was like a one-time thing. But like now we can do that. Like, we can legally do that, and it's like it's not. We're not going to be just like winging it. It's now we created a space that we can do something fun. Y'all could do a Frankie thing here if y'all want it or whatever. Like
do it.
Let's do it. Down.
All right, we're gonna cut this, but I can't wait till Saturday because I know it's gonna be all over the internet. You guys are gonna be all over the internet again.
Crazy. We're gonna get some videos of it too, so we'll put some drop videos.
Yeah,
a recap.
Yeah, we hired a homie, really close homie, same dude that did the breaking video that we're gonna send to you right after this. He's gonna kind of just do a full cap of the day.
We have to document it.
Yeah, we got to. For everyone that doesn't get to show up, so yeah. Bro, we thank you a lot for having us, chopping it up, letting us fucking ramble on.
You're the truth, honestly.
Yeah. No, man, I stay on all day, but it's like, I mean, this will be coming out in the morning, but it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm fucking done. Bedtime.
Let's go.
For real. We need to sleep too. We've been running on like 2 hours, so.
Yeah, and you're getting no sleep for the next couple of days. You're going till 11 o'clock on Saturday night. That's going to be a long day.
Yeah,
waking up at 5, staying up until probably.
It's gonna be fun. I think it'll even go by pretty fast. I just want to enjoy it while it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
We love all y'all. Peace and love.
All right, another long one. Hope you enjoyed it. Nick and Hannah are gonna kill it at the event. If you missed that, follow them on Instagram. They're dropping hammers all the time. Also, if you want to support me, you can do that on Patreon. Lots of exclusive content there. Also, down below, my link to my Amazon curated book selection. If you want to learn about vintage, learn about true vintage. There's t-shirt books in there. Lots of good resources. Go shop my Amazon link. Not a big fan of supporting the big box Amazon, but it's a way you can grab those books. Shop FSandFrankVintage.com. 35% off for all listeners of the show with code VTG and stuff. And I'm probably forgetting something. I don't know. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, share it. And yeah, thanks again. I appreciate it. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Peace out.